Now, before I begin my Monday Night Raw review for this week, I just want to ask you guys one thing. Are you going to try the WWE Network, the free trial, as they have asked you 500 times on this episode? Holy shit, did they shove the WWE Network down our throats this week. With good reason, though. Like they said on the TV, I actually am trying out the WWE Network for 1 week this week, starting today. I signed up for the WWE Network for the 1 week trial. Hopefully I'll like it. If I like it, then I'll end up paying for it after this week. So far, I have enjoyed the WWE Network. It's basically kind of just like Netflix so far. I still got to try it out some more. When I was watching one wrestling match, it was kind of buffering out and stuff, which kind of pissed me off. But it still is pretty useful. I've liked the WWE Network so far, but holy crap, did they shove that down our throats this week. Just going to say that. Alright guys, now we'll get into my Monday Night Raw review for this week. Sorry for not making any other YouTube videos last week. I just have been busy, my usual excuse. Anyways, so to start off Monday Night Raw, we had Roman Reigns come out and talk about his Fatal 4-Way match at Battleground for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and how he will win. Then Kane comes out and interrupts Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns says Kane is the Authority's lapdog, and he's Randy Orton's bitch, which is pretty funny. And then they brawl in and outside the ring. They brawl in the crowd in the stands, and then they brawl in the ring. So yeah, and then they were broken apart by some security guards, and then I'll talk about that in a second. But either way, good start to Raw. It was a pretty good promo by Roman Reigns, and I didn't know this, but Finlay was like a security guard. I mean, he was like one of the guys breaking up the fight between Roman Reigns and Kane, and then he got speared by Roman Reigns. I'm surprised Finlay even still has a contract with the WWE. I thought he was gone years ago. This was like the first time I've seen Finlay in years on WWE. I'm just going to say that right now. It was kind of nostalgic. But yeah, the good start to Raw. Then we had Luke Harper and Eric Rowan versus the Usos. And I've seen this match a dozen times, so I've seen this match too many times to really care, so I didn't watch this match. I fast-forwarded through it. I did not care for this match. Then we had Alicia Fox versus Nikki Bella, and the Authority continues to torture Nikki Bella by having her wrestle with one arm tied behind her back this week, and then Alicia Fox beats her down and grabs some Red Bull and dumps it on Nikki, so yeah, the Authority just keeps on continuing to torture Nikki Bella because of Brie Bella getting fired and for standing up for Daniel Bryan and all that. I didn't really care for the match. I mean, it's just them moving the storyline on, about how the Authority is being mean and all that stuff. Hang on, guys, I gotta get some water. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know, I might have tickle in my throat, but either way. And also the Authority, Triple H, and Stephanie McMahon were on vacation this week, so they were not even at Raw, so yeah, and then next we had Rob Van Dam versus Rusev, and Rusev wins by submission. I didn't really care for this match, and I did not like to see Rob Van Dam job to Rusev. I do not like that Rob Van Dam tapped out to Rusev. I think that makes Rob Van Dam look weak and irrelevant, but that's just me. I don't mind him losing to Rusev, but just not in a submission way. I mean, it just makes RVD look weak. Just gonna say that. But yeah, so Rusev wins by submission. I didn't really care for the match. Moving on. And then this could be match of the night. Then we had Randy Orton versus Dean Ambrose, and Randy Orton wins with a really impressive RKO, because Dean Ambrose is pushing himself off the ropes, bouncing into Randy Orton's RKO. It was pretty cool to see. But yeah, Randy Orton wins in a pretty good match. It was a little too long for me, though. It was a little too long of a match for me. I mean, it was like a 25-minute match. It felt like a 25-minute match to me. I mean, I'm glad that these two have ring time. I'm glad that Dean Ambrose was able to wrestle. But, I mean, 25 minutes is kind of a long time. I mean, it just felt like a 20-minute match when it really should not have been that long. But either way, a good match between Randy Orton and Dean Ambrose. I think this could be match of the night. So yeah. And then next we had Alberto Del Rio versus Dolph Ziggler. And Alberto Del Rio wins by Ziggler getting distracted by Fandangos dancing on the announce table. So, yeah, Dolph Ziggler lost, which was too bad. The WWE, I don't know why, they need to push Ziggler, not Del Rio, but whatever. But I actually do like this feud between Fandango and Ziggler. I think it could be good, as long as the WWE does something right with it, as long as they make a good storyline out of it. So far, I've had no beef with it, so, yeah. And then we had Canada's Own, and this, yeah, by the way, this is in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, I do believe. And I gotta say, the people in Canada were pretty good tonight for Raw. They were pretty loud and vocal, so shout out to Canada. You guys did a good job tonight on Raw. So yeah, Bret Hart returns to Raw in his hometown and says it's good to be back. And so he talked on the mic. He said it was good to be back in the WWE and Canada, and how if he could wrestle one more match, it would be in Montreal. Is what Bret Hart said. Then Sandow came out dressed as Bret Hart and mocks him and talks about how, and just basically mocks the screw job in Canada. Basically, Sandow just makes fun of Bret Hart and mocks the Montreal screw job and all that. And then Bret Hart punches Damien Sandow in the face, which was pretty funny. It was an okay segment. I wish they would have done a little bit more with Bret Hart. Just a little bit more, but I mean, it was good to see Bret Hart on TV. It was just good to see Bret Hart on TV. So it was an okay segment. And then right after this, we had Sheamus versus Sandow. Sheamus won. I did not care for this match at all. I don't know what the WWE is doing with Sandow, but they needed to stop. I mean, I just don't find it funny anymore. I mean, sometimes when he's dressing up, it's funny, but other times I'm just like, can you just stop torturing the poor guy? So, yeah. And then next we had The Miz versus Chris Jericho, and I just want to say I'm not a fan of The Miz. I don't like The Miz. I never have liked The Miz. I'm not a fan of his, but I actually somewhat like The Miz's gimmick right now as a movie star douchebag. I actually think that role fits him very well, because he has been in a few Hollywood movies, which, I mean, not really Hollywood, but he has been in a few movies. So I just think the whole movie star douchebag look fits him pretty well, and I like that they're tying that into the WWE now. If I was the WWE, I would actually give The Miz a chance with the United States Championship, because Sheamus ain't doing anything with the United States Championship. He's just kind of keeping it warm right now. If I was the WWE, I would let Miz win the United States Championship, and then maybe get a WWE World Heavyweight Championship title shot down the road. I don't know, we'll see, but if the WWE does right with The Miz's gimmick, it could be pretty good. I'm just saying, I like his, like I said, I just like his movie star douchebag look. Yeah, it was a pretty quick but okay match between Chris Jericho and The Miz, and Chris Jericho wins by submission. It was an okay match, but I gotta say, The Miz tapped like a bitch. I mean, if the WWE is going to push him and make him look like a movie star douchebag, they have to do it correctly, and this is not the way. The match was good. I'm glad that Chris Jericho won. I actually like Chris Jericho better than The Miz. But I'm just saying, The Miz looked like a bitch in this match. So, yeah, and then after the match, Bray Wyatt tries to talk to Chris Jericho on the mic, and then Chris Jericho interrupts him and is about to go up the ramp and attack Bray Wyatt, but then stops after Eric Rowan and Luke Harper appear, so he does not attack the Wyatt family at all. Pretty good segment and an okay match. I'm looking forward more to this feud between the Wyatt family and Chris Jericho. I'm pretty excited for it. And then next we had Naomi and Cameron versus Paige and AJ, and I don't really know why Cameron's being a little snobby bitch right now. I don't know. I don't really care. I mean, they're just trying new stuff, I guess. They're just trying new stuff with the Divas, which I can appreciate, but I just don't care for it really right now. But, so we had Naomi and Cameron versus Paige and AJ, and Paige and AJ win. It could have been a better match. I mean, it was a really short match. It was really short. And I'm not sure how much I like this mutual respect right now between Paige and AJ. I think they just want to keep Paige as a face right now. But to me, though, Paige would fit pretty well as a heel. So I think having Paige be a heel and having AJ be the face and having them feud for a while for the title I think would be pretty good. So yeah, I'm not sure how I really feel about this mutual respect between the two of them right now. So yeah, and then Cameron and Naomi brawl after the match, and yeah. And then we had Cesaro versus Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston pulls off another victory this week, and then Cesaro was about to destroy Kofi Kingston again this week when Big E saved Kofi, so yeah. And then I don't even know why this was on Raw. This is like a filler. We had they had the Los Matadores Bull versus Bo Dallas, and I didn't care about this. I fast forwarded through it. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, yeah, I don't give a shit. So, yeah, and then in the main event, we had Seth Rollins versus John Cena. Pretty decent match, even with Kane and Randy Orton interfering in the match. So it pretty much ended in disqualification after Randy Orton and Kane interrupted in the match. And then Roman Reigns saves John Cena from Randy Orton and Kane. So Roman Reigns does a few Superman punches, saves John Cena, and then Dean Ambrose prevents Seth Rollins from cashing in on John Cena with his Money in the Bank contract. All in all, a pretty good ending to Raw again this week. They did a good job with the main event and with the ending to Raw, and yeah. So overall, a pretty good episode of Raw this week. It wasn't as good as last week's, because last week's was just a home run. I mean, they did a great job with last week's, I really thought. Last week's was a very good episode. This was still a pretty good episode of Raw, but like I said, it just wasn't as good as last week's. But I still enjoyed some stuff on Raw tonight. Still a good show, and I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I hope you guys liked my review, and yeah, peace out, guys.